Just change my audio because I think actually it might be a little bit loud. Just change it down to 3. That should be good enough. I think 130 on now. Get slightly wider line again, and then bring it over, and that's going to get 46, 40, just behind there. So by him there. Now have next strokes as well as elaborate and really has. Where is he going to be able to put it? A little bit tricky there on the way in, but he's not been blocked at all there. Now coming up to the line, what is it going to be? For elaborate, that is looking way into the top 5, and that is a P3 really solid back there by Dan. Nice to see him up there on the wing. Last minute call to his first lap. Just a little back collapse, a little through there, so clearly isn't ready in terms of how to push the car. So this is going to be his first lap where he's going to put on the ring. He's actually decided to pit, so not feeling that lap, and he is going to hold off on that. Lap by him. We have Alex Cooper. And now I'll turn the audio down. That should be good now. Anyway, as Alex Kuma goes purple apparently through the first sector, that's a good one. Now coming through the hairpin, going to get on the power as quickly as possible, but not making sure to spin his rears too much to lose that time. Now coming up to the third sector line. It's only a small third sector around Suzuka, and as he comes over, that's another purple. So this is either a stonking lap or it is clearly an issue with the timing screen. It does look pretty clean from now. A little bit wide into that first corner, but gets it all corrected through there. Going to want to get as close to the inside line as possible and coming up to line. That is going to be pole, and that is a 27.4. Very, very nice lap from Alex Kuma. Haven't really seen that kind of performance. That's a really good job from him. Let's now go back on board with Turbo Sphinx, who's going to be doing his second lap. We've seen Turbo a lot of the time actually go with a slightly different approach in qualifying and be a bit out of sync of everyone. And it has worked for him in the past, but as it does get you out of all the gets you out of all the kerfuffle at the end of the session. But he's doing a good job right now. On this lap, it looks like definitely should be able to promote himself up into at least P4, where his teammate is. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of improvements to come as Turbo comes through the spoon corner. Now onto the straight just before onto the TR. What is that going to be? Is a middle sector split. That is going to be a 30. That's going to be actually 6/10 better than his lap, and that looks purple through that sector. So he's looking pretty decent now to maybe put himself near a 27.8. What is it going to be through the final sector? Is he going to be able to gain some time? It does look like he may have done, as we do see a DC over the line, and that is very unfortunate as Turbo has been sent to the pits. Coming over the line there. That is very unfortunate to see. Absolutely. Anyway, Gath is coming to the line now. Gath has been so quick in these past few sessions, so it wouldn't surprise me if he does put that Red Bull on a provisional pole coming to the line. Doesn't look like actually will be. It will only be P4, just behind Kendog and Apex, and not as quick as I was expecting. As Mike has an unfortunate spin, as this is also his first couple of laps since he's been hurt. This is going to be his first bit of practice for the track, so again, maybe struggling slightly today. Anyway, who else do we have on the lap? It does look like we have Pias on the lap. He's slightly over in the time, so this may not be an improvement for him, unfortunately. But he's doing a decent job right now in P8. As we do see on the flag, that is Gattis Nicholson. And this Pias coming up to the line. What is he going to be able to do with his lap? No improvement, unfortunately, just down on his time. So let's go back now to Andy Ring, who is setting his first lap time on the board. What's this going to be? He's going to have to try and make it flat through here to gain some time. As it, he's struggled there to keep it flat, and that may have lost him quite a lot of time, unfortunately for him, going through the final two corners. And now onto the main straight. What is this going to be? For Andy Ring, only good enough for P12, unfortunately for him, as Mike pits, so his lap was not good enough, and he's going to have to go again. Kendog, Caradog, is he coming into the pits? Does look like he will be. Gattis also coming into the pits. We've got Smithy. Is he recharging? Doesn't look like he is also recharging, so no lap from Smithy. We've got Labradan on a lap actually, and Sighted also on a lap. Let's try and get Turbo. Yeah, I'll get you in, mate. Where are you? There you are. Should have got an invite. As Sighted now coming over the line, what is this going to be for the Alpine man? And that is P8, just displacing his teammate. Not much of an improvement, but it is enough to displace Pias in the end. Pias not going for the lap, so it will be Labradan next one to finish his lap. It does look like with the 130 yards going to want this to be flat, and he does do it flat very nicely. Up to the chicane. And this is going to be, is this going to be good enough for a top 5 position? Maybe sneak into the 27s? It is not. It looks like he's actually on the exact same lap time. Yeah, he has done the exact same lap time. So, very consistent from Dan, looks like. As we now will go on board with the likes of, I think, Click
4 o'clock. It's a bit of a point there now where everyone is in the pits waiting for the last opportunity, but some people are off schedule slightly. 0.2 improvement through Sector 1, that's good news for him. He's going to have to make an 0.8 improvement to actually displace Syndical in P10. He's going to need to find a lot of time here in this middle sector where you can find a lot. Sector 1, Sector 2, you can find a lot of time. But, yeah. Mr. Consistency, absolutely. Bam. Properly consistent in that Haas. Pretty much is consistent as their 2021 season, to be honest with you, but at least stands up in P6, doing a really good job right now. So that's also good to see. As we see, just below 0.2 gains. I'm not sure this is going to be enough actually to change his position on the grid, unfortunately, and this will likely be his last lap of the session if he can, unless he can get the pits double time, and that is an improvement. Actually, no, that is not an improvement. So he is still quite a way down. Fortunately for him, Dan will be pitting. So our first driver will be. I think it'll be Mike actually. It says first lap, so we'll go on board with Mike for his lap. Mazepin, yeah, man. True consistency king. Oh, we do have actually someone on that. We have the leader. We have pole position on a lap currently. Alex Kuma with 27.4 done an absolutely unreal lap, but he is going for a lap early doors. It's 0.4 down, so I don't think this is going to be an improvement lap time for him. Must have set a really good one in the first session. Sorry, in the first lap. And it does look like actually Alex Kuma's backed out on his lap and he's going to go for it again. So we'll drop back onto Mike. Just come through that first sector split now. 32.2. We don't know where that is for him right now, as he has not got a provisional lap time on the board. Coming through the hairpin, he's going to want to make it as tight as possible, get on the power. Most of the time in second gear, he has floored it in his first gear, which I'm very surprised by, but clearly that's what he's comfortable with. And now coming to Spoon, he's going to want to be as careful as possible through here. I'm not sure if Mike has got his new accelerator, but has been suffering with some throttle issues recently, so this may affect his lap time, unfortunately for you guys, but I think he is getting some new throttle soon anyway, which is always good news. To here, going through the chicane, nicely at the curbs, a little bit slow on the throttle, but not too slow. This should be, I think, possibly good enough for top 10. It is only P11, but that's still a really decent lap by Mike to put himself ahead of 2 drivers there, and just on the rear of his teammates. We now have Turbo Sphinx coming to the line. What is he able to do in his final run? It's only good enough for P5 sneaking into the 27s for him. We have Ken Dog Caradog, who is going to be, I'm pretty sure, going to be starting a lap here. Yes, he is. So it's going to be Gattis' final one. No, he's starting a lap, so he's backed out on his run also. So who do we have next? We have LS Kuma on a lap. The pole man. He's obviously didn't like that first run, but he's going to go for it on for the second time now. Coming to Spoon. Going to want to take this as aggressively as possible to get as much time as he possibly can, but it's going to be tough to beat the lap he has done at 27.4, which is definitely a very, very solid time from himself. Coming up to the third sector split line with a little bit of traffic coming to 130 on now. He's very slightly up, so there's maybe a slight gain if he can get lucky enough here. But is this traffic going to affect him? Coming into the bus stop, maybe a little bit of a distraction, but not too much. Slightly wide into the first one, through the second one, up the line now. What is this going to be for Alex Kuma? Is this going to be a slight improvement? It is a slight improvement, very slight, pretty much just 100th of a second. Let's drop back onto some of the other drivers coming on their lap now. We have Andy Ring coming to the line. What's he going to be able to do? It's a very large improvement, but just missing out on the P12 slot. We have the likes of Smithy starting his lap, so it's going to be the first guy to come over the line will be Kendall Caradog. He did not have a full battery at the start of this lap, so this may affect his time a little bit as he is 2/10 up, but he's now going to be hitting 10%. He's going to be losing that straight line speed, unfortunately, to the line, which may affect his lap time slightly. But what is this going to be? Is it going to be good enough for pole? On Delta right now, it does look good enough for pole, but what is this going to be coming over the line? It is pole position with a 27.2 from Kendall Caradog. Brilliant lap from him. We have actually Apex and Gattis following each other now into the final couple of corners. Apex keeps coming around the final corner now. What's this going to be from him? We've not seen his second time, so he could be anywhere. But is this going to be good enough for the front row? It is not. It's third place. What about Gattis? What can he do? 3/10 gate coming over the line now. It's only P3. So Gattis missing out on a front row seat. And that must be the first time in a while we've actually seen that Mike staying down in P11. Now we have Saiti coming to the line. Next person coming over the line. What's Saiti going to be able to do? Definitely has some pace, but is not really produced it yet. Slightly on the grass there, which might have lost him a little bit of time up to the line now. That's good enough to put him in the P8 position, while Syndical goes P9. It's a really nice lap from him. Dan coming to the line now in P8. Is he going to be able to displace Sighted from where he was? Is he maybe even going to be able to get ahead of Smithy also up to the line now in the Haas? And that's going to be good enough for P7 to take over Sighted once more. Smithy coming to the line, and that's only good enough for P6. No improvement. And the last driver will be Andy Ring. I'm not sure if he is on a lap, maybe just a cool-down lap. It does look like. And that will be the end of qualifying. Kendall Caradog getting pole off Alex Kuma, with Gattis and Apex in P2 and P3 and 4. Turbo Sphinx taking P5. The last person in 27th. Then we have Smithy, Labradan, Sighted, TTV Syndical, Pias, Mike, Clip4 Clark. Andy Ring, and then we have Polo and Mr. Elite Fear, who have retired at the start session, possibly a qualifying ban, if they did retire at the start session. So that's a possibility. Don't worry, man. Yeah, you're right, Tiger. How you doing, man? Let's get these results, and then race director. Big thanks to all of our sponsors as well, likes of Exidax, NordVPN, Pitlane Prince, Dubby. We've got a pretty decent amount of sponsors right now. You can check all of our sponsors out over on our Discord, and we do have discount codes over there. We also do have I think it is 30% off NordVPN sale right now, and that is also over on our Discord if you do contact one of the main staff. So if you are looking to pick up a cheap deal from NordVPN, make sure to join the server and then give a DM to one of the senior staff, and they will direct you in that direction. So make sure you go and do that, and that would really help us out. As you know, having a NordVPN sponsor definitely is great news for us and everyone. Obviously, racing and watching really puts us out there. We also do have the 90-minute Spa event likely to be streamed on with actually 82 teams on Saturday at around 5 GMT. So make sure to come and watch us then. That is going to be a mad one. 82 cars on track at Spa is going to be awesome to see. We also do have Saturday at 7:30 GMT a race around. We have a race around Suzuka here, and then we have Sunday. We have Tier 1, 7:30 GMT, and on Monday we have Tier 3 at 7:30 GMT, and then also the Spa event next Saturday, 24 hours Spa, 80 odd teams. Definitely come and watch that. $150 prize pool. That should be a real good one to watch. Make sure you come and join us there. But it's going to be 3, 4, 5 red lights for the CRF4 Japan Grand Prix, and we are lights out, and away we go. The McLaren gets a reasonable start on the Ferrari. Is going to be side by side down into turn 1. It's not a great corner to go side by side, but it does look like Alice Kuma is going to be battling for Ken Dog down into turn 1. The McLaren backs out a little bit as Gattis goes round the outside of turn 1 into turn 2 now. Turn 2 and 3. Gattis gets ahead with Alice Kuma behind in P3. Apex Kiss is following in P4. That's a really good job by Ken Dog to get himself up there early on there. and Smithy is in P5 getting ahead of Turbo Sphinx, and that is a spin. That is a big spin, and that is going to be coming onto the track. One of the Williams cars. Not sure if there was big contact there. Looks like there has been, and Mr. Elite Fear has got some damage, and it does look like also Andy Ring taking a penalty, unfortunately. Very unfortunate there. Nothing really, I don't think Cyndaquil could have done. Maybe held the brakes, I'm not sure. Not sure if he did. Can't really tell from my angle, but that's collected 2 or 3 cars there, and that will be a safety car on lap 1 of this race. At least no one is out of the Grand Prix. That's always silver lining, I guess. If we do have that silver lining, you know. Whoa. Ken Dog cooking. No, sorry. Yeah, Ken Dog cooking. Yeah, man, he's done a great job right now. Absolutely. Let's have a quick look if I can. Just want to do one thing, if it'll let me. There we go. I want the tyre choices, and I want the... I should do, actually. So there's pit stop strategy around here: soft, medium, soft, hard. Presumably also the medium hard is an option. We got drivers in the pits. Labrath Dan coming in lap 1 for a new set of tyres. What is this going to be? From Dan, is he going to go? He's going to go for them hard tyres, and that is just a strategy call. He's played that just not even for a wing. So Dan's pitted. We've got Mike pitting onto a set of mediums. We've got Andy Ring also pitting onto a set of hards. So do we think these two Haas boys think they can make the end of the Grand Prix without another safety car? That could be a really, really interesting strategy to see if it does play out, if there isn't another safety car. Of course, though, Dan does have a 5-second penalty there, which is going to be not great for his race. He may have to pit stop again, possibly, to get rid of that. But I'm not sure what tyres he's going to be able to go onto. But Andy Ring looks like these two Haas boys might be going to the end of the Grand Prix on that tyre. Maybe the strategy from them. Every other driver, they're going soft medium, so it does look like the main strategy to go for is the soft medium around here. I remember doing a race here in Tier 1 quite a while ago now, back when I just started with CRF, and it was for, I think I personally did do a hard medium, but I do remember the soft medium being very powerful. I remember Fridge actually ahead of me. Really was really very close between them guys, but really did have the pace, even on those older softs. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one goes from the point of a soft medium, if people are going for that. But I'm guessing some of the people who have gone mediums are just trying to play it safe in case there is a safety car early, not this early doors, but you know, in the next couple of laps, so that you can bottle to them hards instead of those soft runners pitting and then having to pit again in case you're running the safety car. But doesn't look like there will be anyone in this lap. So are we going to see Labrath Dan coming into the pits for a fresh set of tyres, getting rid of that penalty? As that's Apex keeps faking into the pits there. Interestingly, maybe trying to fake one of their rivals, possibly there, but it doesn't look like the Haas boys have pits, and no one has pit there. They are just going to carry on going. So we do have Ken Dog in first, Kattis in second, Alex Kuma in third on those soft tyres. Not a great start from the soft runner of the McLaren. Apex keeps in fourth. Fifth for Smithy with a good start. Turbo has dropped down to sixth, but he's on those medium tyres. Piast in seventh. Sighted in eighth. Polo in ninth. And finishing off your top 10 right now is Click for Clack. We obviously do have those other 5 drivers outside the top 10. Unfortunately, not up in the points paying positions for now, but I'm sure they will come up if they can. Anyway, we were going to be going green flag running as I think Kendog has gone pretty early out that chicane and left Gattis Mikkelsen napping as we go through. You know, there could be actually rain here in this race also with how cloudy it is. So that's going to be an interesting one to see as a lot of people have gone for softs and maybe that is the way, but obviously we've got some hard runners which may stop that. But as Kendog rockets off into the distance, is Gattis going to be able to hold that gap ahead? Gattis been brilliant at Singapore, but is he going to have the pace today to hold on to Kendog? That's going to be the interesting one to see. There's a yellow flag coming into turn 1. That looks like TTV Syndical has spun round in turn 1, unfortunately. Is that going to be damage for him? Doesn't look like it. Maybe just a spin coming through turn 1. This track is very demanding on the drivers, and it is very easy to spin. So, yeah, unfortunate to see Syndical drop down there. But I'm sure he's going to try and bring himself back up through the grid. Kendog making a 1 second gap right now. He's going to want to get out of DRS, but Gattis does not want that to happen. He's got enough racing knowledge, does Gattis, that he knows he needs to stay in this DRS gap to stay with a chance at the win if there's not another safety car. So he's going to be trying to push this ERS, I'm sure, on this next lap or two. DRS should be enabled this lap, or maybe next lap, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure if we did have it last lap. It was just lap 3, so we've had lap 4. No, so DRS will enable, I think, this lap. So there'll be one more lap until it does enable, because it's only going to come down this straight where you do get the enable. So it's basically 3 laps before you actually can activate your DRS. But Alice Kuma's all over the rear of Gattis at the moment, and it wouldn't surprise me. Alice Kuma needs to get past, because Alice Kuma can probably catch Gattis right now. It's going to catch Kendog right now, and then Gattis can use him. But Apex just had a spin. Apex looks as though he's had a half spin, and he's dropped down to P9. He's actually had a big spin, and he's all the way down to P9, and that is terrible news for Apex, one of the drivers that is battling for the championship. That is absolutely dreadful news. He's going to want to make the move on pole as soon as possible. Is he going to have the switch back here? Oh, he's very slow, the McLaren, through that corner, and there's a little bit of contact, but I think Apex has slowed down and has given him the place. But there we go, the Haas down the inside, and that's a good move from Labratan, capitalising on that mistake from Apex, but Apex has given that position back, so nothing really being done there, and that's really respectful driving by the Avatarman as he goes wide again. Getting a bit too late on the brakes. He may have also broke his end plate there, so that is not good news at all. Maybe that probably is contact with the McLaren, and that is not good news. He's going to drop all the way down to the back, and he's now going to have to hope for a safety car. For me right now, he's going to have to pit onto those hard compound tyres, hope he can run the whole race, and maybe gain some time on an undercut and get himself back into the top 4, which he can definitely do, but it is going to be tough to do. So that's what I'm presuming he will do, as Kendog getting away from Gattis. But here we go, Alice Kuma getting the move done. I'm sure Gattis is going to let this happen, as he needs to make sure that the McLaren needs to gain 6 tenths on this lap. He actually needs to get a lot more than 6 tenths. Looks like Gattis maybe have lifted through that final corner, which is a bit odd. But yeah, it is so, and that is actually a safety car as the Ferrari-man of Mr. Thirellis breaks his whole wing coming through the final corner, and that will be great news for Apex Caves boxing onto them hard tyres. I'm guessing. No, he's boxing onto soft tyres. He doesn't think he wants to go to the end. He's taking a penalty also. So maybe this actually is a tactical call. Go onto the softs, then box the hards. And he can run to the end of the race now, and I'm sure everyone will probably be boxing into the pits to go to the end. 20 laps on a hot set of hards is definitely doable, so it wouldn't surprise me if that kind of thing does happen now. Are we going to see a pit stop here from Kendog? Yes, he is into the pits. Guessing drivers behind will do the same. McLaren into the pits. We have Gattis going round, so Gattis thinks, no, I'm not going to pit. That is, personally, an absolutely catastrophic call from Gattis. Labratan goes on. Polo is just staying in. Mike going on. It looks like maybe Andy Ring will go on as well. Clark will come in, and then the rest will probably come in. So that is interesting news. And is Andy Ring going to make it out ahead of the Ferrari? He is just ahead of the Ferrari-man there. He's really pushed it. But that means Kendog down in P5 going to make those positions up early doors. And Gattis going for the safe strategy here, but I'm not sure about how... not sure how that is going to work out. Personally, it might be a bit of a disaster class, but we will see. Apex onto a set of hards. He's now going, presumably to the end of the race now, as most drivers will be going to the end of the race now on their current tyres, apart from the likes of Mike and Gattis. I'm presuming we'll have to pit again, and also Click4 Clack and Mr. Elite Fear, who are on those soft tyres, so it doesn't look like they're going to be able to make it to the end. I'm sure Satan might be able to hold 20 laps out on them tyres, but it is going to be a stretch, I can't lie. Yeah. Let's get back onto the stream, because for some reason the stream is going off my phone. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. I mean, I don't know. It might have been on the McLaren, to be honest, if he was going really slowly. So, depends really on that one. Do we have Thames Sphinx? Thames Sphinx, yeah, staying out. So everyone does look like they are staying out. It's surprisingly though. Gattis Mickelson going to be starting on lap 10. Seems very late on. I'm going to be honest, because these mediums are only going to be able to last another about 5 to 7 laps, and then they're going to have to come into the pits for a fresh set of softs, most likely. So, you know, this strategy is looking questionable unless there is another safety car early doors. Did the McLaren have damage? I don't believe so. I don't think they had damage. Doesn't look like they've lost any places anyway from it. So, yeah, I think it was probably just a racing incident, unfortunately, there. But those things do happen. So, yeah, I just got to realise to get on with it. Yeah. No, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Obviously, you came into the back of him, but it was hard to like judge. Obviously, you hit the back of him, but if he's going at a really unnecessarily slow pace, and it's something where it's like it's unpredictable, then of course it's not on you. So I could I'm not entirely sure yet. But me, just keep on going, man. You'll be able to make your way back through the pack, I'm sure. And we do have a couple of pit stoppers to go still. Um, as Gattis will be leading the way here, safety car in this lap, and that is a penalty. Click for Clark hitting into the back of Polo, and that is a 5-second, unfortunately, for him. Are we going racing yet? Doesn't seem so. Yes, we are. That is very last second, as Gattis is now coming around the final corner, coming onto the main straight. He's having to back the pack up as much as he possibly can and go at the latest possible. No, yeah, that's gone very early, actually. Safety car still coming into the pits, but he's going to make it over the line as the safety car does enter, and that's a really good start from from Gattis, as Kendog is looking for a move straight away on Andy Ring down the inside. Is he going to try the move? He is going to try the move on those fresh set of hards. Andy Ring is being slightly bullied off the track, but there is racing room given there, and there's a little bit of thigh contact, but a very nice move done there by Kendog. We've also got Alice Kuma going to want to be getting all over the back of Andy Ring. He is going to be sitting duck, and I'm sure Alice Kuma is going to want to make the move as soon as he possibly can. As also Kendog really pressuring Mike right now, coming through the second sector as Andy Ring does go wide. Unfortunately, it's causing absolute havoc here. Alpine getting sandwiched with the AlphaTauri coming through. It's 3 wide now into the it's there, but all this McLaren going so wide, just making it through. I'm not sure if there's damage, but Andy Ring has been taken out, and that is another bit of contact from Andy Ring's side through all the kerfuffle. And I mean, in a way, that just was realistically caused by Andy Ring, unless the McLaren, obviously, of Alice Kimmer did go for a move into that turn, but I didn't see it. But that really did cause a lot of drivers to get all over the shop, and it did cause unfortunate contact for Andy Ring. As Kendog has dispatched Mike, he's dispatched also Labrat Dan, and all the way into P2 is Kendog, and he's now going to be looking at the main man, Gattis Mikkelsen, who's not made a stop yet, as Turbo Sphinx makes it through on Smithy, and that's really good news for him. He's now going to be pushing to try and stay on the back of the McLaren, but now we also do have Smithy looking back around the outside of Turbo. I think he's done enough as well to get past him, and that is Turbo behind again, and that is also, unfortunately, sighted into the pitch with a wing change, so he's obviously picked up some damage, and that's going to have dropped him back a long way. Kendog 4/10 behind at the moment, but let's actually go on board with Alice Kuma all over the rear gearbox of Mike. He's got to make this one. That's another safety car, and that is a bit of a get out of jail free car for Gattis. But at the same time, is it really? Because he's now going to drop down all the way to the back of the pack to be pits. Otherwise, he'd have been at the front of the pack. So, is that really going to be great for him? Because he's still going to have to put on the same set of hards as everybody else, because he is on those medium tyres. The question is, though, do these hard runners box through another set of mediums? That is definitely the option to go for, I'm guessing. Mediums to the end of the race will last, that it's about 16 odd laps now to the finish, 15, 16 laps. The mediums would last, and they will be quicker, so yeah, that is going to be interesting stuff, absolutely. Will we see pitters? I'm sure we will see, of course, Gattis coming into the pits, but you never know. The man might want to go for soft tyres and think there's going to be another safety car. 3 safety cars already being deployed in this race. From, I think actually 2 was from Mr. Elite Fair, and we had 1 on lap 1 due to a large collision with TTV Cynical. As Gattis does come in, Kendall going around. People must be pitting here. That's sighted with the drive-through. That's bad news for him. People are pitting. Alice Kuma going around. Smithy into the pits last second, and that's Turbo going around also. We have Apex going around as well, so they're not thinking to come onto a fresh set of mediums. TTV Syndical going around with Smithy into the pits onto a set of mediums. Andy Ring also probably going to be onto a set of mediums. We're sighted basically out of this one, so it is going to be Kendog followed by Alice Kuma with Turbo Sphinx in P3, Pias in P4, Apex Capes in P5, Polo in P6, TTV Syndical in P8, P7, with Gattis on a fresh set of hards in P8. So he's not too far back. Definitely gained through that pack, but it is going to be tough considering tyre life is not too dissimilar. Mike in P9 doing a really good job on those fresh sets. He was actually only behind Gattis, Smithy in P10, Labrat down in P11 with Andy Ring in P12. Sighted is going to have a penalty, but he's not going to be able to drive through, and he's going to have to change his wing once again and go for a pit stop as Flip for Clack keeps on going. And that is going to be sighted onto a set of medium tyres. But he is obviously going to have to serve that drive through, so he's basically out of it for now. We should be getting going racing as we are now. Coming to the end of the safety car, and Kendall Caradog will be leading the way, and it will be Ales Kuma to react to him, backing the back up significantly. At the moment, everyone's staying reasonably single file, which is good to see, of course. And when is Kendall going to bolt? That is the question. Looks like he has through the middle of the corner. People are really slowing down there through the middle, and I don't think there was damage, but it was very close to damage. Hopefully not. Let's just drop back, just check there was no damage between that Alpha Tower and that Alpine, because it did get very, very, very close. Looks like everyone is a-okay, which is great to see. So Kendall leading the way right now, and we are going to drop back actually with the Red Bull of Gattis Mikkelsen, obviously on this fresher tyres. He is going to want to get going now and get himself past some of these drivers ahead. That's going to be an absolute must for him in this race if he wants to salvage a decent position, and maybe even a win if he does have the pace to do so. That's Smithy dropping down a position to Labrador, so Labrador forcing that move early doors, and that is great news for them. For Dan. Dan's actually been a driver I feel like has really improved in these last couple of races. Showed some absolutely excellent pace and he's up there in P10 right now. I mean, you know, he's been up there. Obviously, with this new strategy he's played, he might be able to bring himself up into maybe the top 5 if he plays it right. And that is Gas Mikkelsen getting himself ahead of TTV Syndical, which is great news for him in his hunt for the win. Looking up ahead, Kendog already pulled out over a second gap with Alice Kuma in P2. Tepis thinks actually keeping Alice Kuma on his toes, which is really good to see, and he's keeping them honest. But here we go, Gattis will likely go for a move here and try and get on the back of Piast by the end of this lap. I'm sure now he's going to be using his ERS. Is he going to make the move into turn 1, looking for the inside? It looks like he will go for that move into turn 1. Oh, it's very close there. But it looks like the McLaren has held that position. There's really good defending by them, and that is Mike getting ahead of Syndical, so a little bit of a swap position. I'm not surprised by that with Syndical on those older tyres. That's really good teamwork from the Williams guys. And of course, Mike is actually in the championship, whereas Syndical is only a reserve. So that's really good news for them. You see Polo coming down the hill, and he is just ahead of Gattis, and Gattis is definitely being held up right now. And he's going to maybe want to go for the move into the he's going to look the inside. Not there though. He's going to have to back off, get a nice exit, maybe look for a move into Spoon possibly. Otherwise it will be maybe into before 130 or into the chicane. Kendog almost 2-second gap now, so really pulling out. He's really dominating this race, and Turbo is staying on the back of Alice Kuma, and obviously Apex with a 2-second gap, but he's going to want to dispatch of Pias's DRS and get going to the back of his teammate of Turbo. Guys still waiting behind the McLaren ahead. He's going to need to make this move absolutely as soon as possible. And that is a 3-second penalty for Syndical and Turbo pretty much at the exact same time, interestingly. Now coming down the straight, no DRS again. Is this going to be a move from McLaren? The McLaren's a lot closer though to the driver ahead, so I do doubt that's going to happen. But you do never know, and that is actually the Smithy getting out from behind the TTV Syndical behind now, and that Smithy up into the points into P10, and Syndical dropping down to P11 on those older hards. Sighted the pits, taking that drive through. No surprises there. Still all over the rear of Polo, and this may be a move down the inside. Now turns to the outside around Spoon, trying to break late, but there's just no room once again. The McLaren defending like an absolute maestro, but this may mean Gattis may be forced to go for a move possibly into turn 1. Is he going to go for it though into 130 yard? Doesn't look like he is. He'd have to hold off. Maybe into the chicane. Is there space? Round the outside he goes. Braking late. Is there going to be room? It is so close, but what a move by Gattis. And I think he has got it with Polo getting all out of shape on the exit. And I think he will also get DRS. Yes, he does. So that's a brilliant move from Gattis. Great to see that one happening. And behind, we see Smithy getting ahead of Labrat with that DRS detection. And I'm sure these guys will be slipstreaming each other for a little while now. Kendog still breaking into the lead. And now is going to be Gattis being set off on Pias to get himself up into a P5 position. But obviously, Turbo got a penalty ahead, so this may turn into better than that for Gattis, trying to make his way back through the pack. 4/10 behind now. He's getting really up the rear of him, really showing the speed he's got in that car when he gets some clean air. And coming through the... Oh, he's all over the rear. Maybe even a little touch there. He's going to look for a move, though, I'm sure, before Spoon. Pias kind of getting out of the way there, around the outside. And now to the inside, Gattis goes. It's not going to be side by side. Pias knows that's not his race. And he's going to drop into P6. There's another crash behind. Syndical's out. Everyone's out. And that is another safety car, 5th safety car, or 4th safety car of the race. 2 drivers out, unfortunately, again, and that is Andy Ring involved with Syndical. Not a great one again. See Andy Ring really struggling, but this is going to be definitely pit stop time. Is it soft or medium? So that is the big question. Soft would last, but is it going to be better to go medium tyres? Everyone coming in right now. We've got another one in. Piast, is he going to box? Yes, he is. That is Polo going around all those old hards. So Smithy on those mediums going around. Not surprised by that. Dan is coming into the pits, bit surprised by that one, but Mike is going around those hards. He's flick full clock. Yes, he is. And Sated, guessing he will come into the pits. That's Polo, followed by Smithy, Mike, and we do have a little. No, we've got mostly mediums, but Turbo's gone for those soft compound tyres, and he's also under 10%. So that is really good news for Turbo to try and regen his battery now, and go on those soft compound tyres to the end of the race. So only 3 drivers staying out on those tyres. And everyone has gone to mediums other than Turbo Sphinx, which is a pretty bold move from him. But guess what? I mean, if he's got that penalty, there's no reason not to go for it at all. So I think that's a pretty decent call from Turbo, and he's going to try and challenge maybe for the win, at least on track. And we'll have to see post race if he can get that one removed. Depends if he has got some illegal penalties that weren't going to shouldn't count. That is the real big question. I was surprised, a little bit surprised. That, actually, to be fair, it's sad to say that, but Apex has actually lost a position there to Gas to the pits because of the double stack with Turbo. Would it have technically been better for Apex to start on those No, it wouldn't have been actually. I don't think. No, I think he's played the right call there, and now it's going to be a bit of a straight fight between all those guys, but with a little bit of traffic ahead. Obviously, those guys ahead trying to play the chance card and hope they can hold it out till the end of the race, as I'm sure there will not be another safety car until the end. Right, let me get a drink. While we get one more lap of safety car, so we're back with you in one moment for the final couple of laps of this CRF Grand Prix around Suzuka. Here we go. 7 or 8 laps more racing to go in this one. And this is going to be an interesting one. All the quicker guys coming through the slower guys, especially in the first couple of laps, could cause a bit of carnage. So let's watch out for that, as the person which will be setting the speed is Polo in the McLaren, as Smithy will be reacting as quickly as you can. It's very close behind, actually, between the Ferrari and Polo's gone. And Smithy is not hanging around, going for the lead straight away. And I think that is going to happen. But is Ken not going to go for the move on Mike? Looks like he is. Mike's been forced out of it, unfortunately. And he is down in position. Kendall getting up through the pack very cleanly and very quickly this race, which is great to see. And that is Turbo all the way around the outside of Alice Kuma. Clearly made a mistake there. And it's very close between Apex and Gattis through the S's. Apex trying to make a move, but there's nothing to be had there. And smart move by Apex. That is Mike getting absolutely swallowed up right now. That's one move, two moves as Gattis goes down the inside. Oh, and I think it's going to be another move. Mike's just getting. Yeah. Unfortunately, Mike just doesn't really have a chance here. And he is just getting swallowed up by the guys ahead. And it's too wide down the inside. Polo getting swallowed up also down to P6. I was pretty certain this was going to happen on those old tyres. He's already gone down quite a couple of places, but Smithy does lead the way still on those older mediums as Ken Log's all over the back of him and is going to want to make that move as quickly as he possibly can. Apex now ahead of Polo as well before Spoon Curb, and this is going to be Ken Log before 130R burning his battery, getting ahead, and Tabas thinks is surely going to be pushing as well, maybe into this corner to make the move. Is it going to happen? He's all over the rear, round the outside, maybe. No, he's going to sit in behind, maybe get him on the straight, but Turbo's going to have to stay with Kendog. He cannot get forced behind. It is so close, these two guys, and it is allowing Kendog to get away, but I'm sure Turbo's going to be pushing like absolute hell to get back with him. Doesn't want him to go side by side. He has tucked back into Smithy, and that it will be that. Very close racing there behind, and I'm sure Mike is going to try and defend from PS, but it is going to be tough, and that does look like PS has made the move, and that is also Ellis half spin from Slated. Not great news for him, Mike. Yeah, just not the correct strategy there, and it just surprises you how quick the fresh tyres are. I mean, I did 2 laps on a set of very old medium. I think it was hard tyres in Tit 1 last season when I was actually leading the Grand Prix. At the end, and it went to absolute rubbish. Is that the soft tyres are just so quick, and you do get swallowed up, unfortunately. And this is Gattis getting in a battle with a McLaren. Is he going to get it down the inside into Spoon Curb? They've got Smithy ahead as well. This is going to become absolutely. This is going to become so close. Is there going to be any contact? It looks like Gattis has made that move very nice and cleanly. And it's on the exit, still very close. Gattis defending now down into 130R. As they keeps gets involved. Is this going to be three wide into 130R? Doesn't look like it. And it is so close. Gattis having to come in. And McLaren down the inside. Is he going to make the move on Smithy? Is Smithy going to have to make that gap? Yes, he is. He's trying to put it down the inside off Smithy. Smithy not having any of it, though, and the McLaren gets off track. And now around the outside goes Gattis. Now cutting to the inside goes Gattis. Down the inside. Going to want to get in the slipstream of Smithy. Smithy looks very quick on the straight, but Gattis looks like he's going to make that move down the inside of Smithy. Great news for him in his hunt for a podium, of course, or even a P2 with that penalty from Turbo, as Alice Kuma and Apex Capes get bottlenecked in behind, and Turbo thinks he's not been able to hold on, unfortunately, to Kendog, and just Kendog showing that unbelievable pace he has right now. Apex Capes looking for the inside there, nothing to be had. Is he going to go for a move? No, he's not. He's going to have to sit in behind of the McLaren, but I'm sure they're both going to be wanting to get ahead of Smithy, as Labradani is even closing in on these guys, and maybe looking for a move. Apex keeps around the outside looking for the move. Nothing to be had there as there was an incident behind. Looks like Mike having a spin or a little incident with one of the drivers, unfortunately for him. And that's Apex still looking for the move into Spoon. Is he going to look down the inside? Possibly. He does look, but he's not going to go for it. He's going to sit in behind for now. And it's so close by this whole team, whole group of cars. Smithy, is he going to get eaten up here? And that is Alice Kuma going for the move. Down the inside. There is contact. There is contact. Alice Kuma giving it a little bit of contact. On the grass goes Smithy. I'm sure Smithy's not happy about that, and he's gone wide as his contact again. Smithy is really not going to be happy with that McLaren and how he's made that move. I'm sure that's going to be one to be looked at with the stewards by the end of the race. And now they're both through. Labradan also maybe want to go for the move here. You're going to want to stay with these guys ahead. I'm sure he's going to be absolutely burning the battery, trying to go for the move. Down the inside, it looks nothing to be had there. He may have to sit in behind, unfortunately, with that superior speed, straight line speed of Smithy that he's actually got right now. And no, that is Apex Capes down, and he's down to P7. That is terrible news for his championship, and he's now going to have to get back through the 2 cars he was going through to get back up to the McLaren of Alex Kumar ahead, as Labradan is all over the rear of Smithy right now as we go on board with the front wing camera. Try to make that move as quickly as he possibly can, and that is Apex also all over the rear of them, and Apex is just being bottlenecked up with these guys, as that is the Alfa Romeo spinning round in the background. Apex Cape's going down around the outside into the hairpin, going to go all the way around. Is he going to get the space? He has been left by space by Labradan. Really nice racing by these 2 drivers, and that is Apex Capes getting himself back into P6, and is now going to absolutely have to make the move on Smithy at ASAP, maybe down into 130 or maybe the move, or down the main straight with DRS is the other one. Nothing being done up front though. Kendog still growing this gap with Turbo and P2. Gattis being able to stay in that penalty range in P3. Alex Kumar in P4 with Smithy, Apex and Labradan in P5, all battling over P5, and that is Smithy going wide, and Smithy has got DRS though. Smithy has got DRS and Labradan is behind trying to get the cut back on him, but it does look like Apex has got a good enough slingshot that he will stay ahead. Now these both do have DRS. Who is going to stay ahead? Labradan needs to get this move done, but it just doesn't look like he has the speed. He's trying to use his battery, everything he's got down the inside, can't make the move. Smithy goes wide actually, and Labradan is down the inside. Is he going to be able to make that move? It's side by side through turn 3. First, and that's collision, that's a contact, and unfortunately there, from what I've seen, Labradan turned in too early, and that was just Smithy keeping his nose down the inside. Not sure whose fault that's on, but Labradan had to make that move, but unfortunately it wasn't to be, and he's now down to P11. It will not be any points for Labradan at the moment unless he can salvage some off the likes of Mike or even sighted ahead. It's all calmed down a little bit now, but the 2 Alpines still fighting away with Polos. We're gonna hang on board with these guys. 16 lap old Hards on the McLaren, obviously still trying to hang on from these guys behind, and he's doing a really good job, I think, right now to be doing so successfully. As we also see Gattis almost in the DRS range of Turbo, so we will go on board with them if we think it's going to be needed, as Sated is looking for the move on his teammate Piast. Are these guys going to alternate positions? This possibility will happen, but I'm sure Piast does want that position as much as Sated does. They both got penalties, so I'm sure, yeah, they are battling actually, both the teammates for position, it does seem. And Gattis then now getting into that DRS range, just missing that again, but obviously it needs to be coming to the end of straight before you do see that DRS happen, and he may have 2 laps to make that move on track in case Turbo does, of course, appeal that penalty, which is definitely quite likely, but and he is flashing also, so that is quite likely he will drop down. Turbo actually also needs to worry about here Alice Kumar, because Alice Kumar is 3 seconds behind Turbo. So yeah, that is also another thing to look at. Will Turbo get off the podium with the penalty he has right now? That's the thing to be really asking. As Labradan is looking for a move on Mike. He wants to get those points back, of course, but I think this will be the maximum he can make, so there's no rush from him this time. He just needs to get that move done, as Gattis does not get DRS. He does not get DRS. It doesn't look like. Let's just check, though, as but through the section that he may have broken late and tried to just sneak a little bit of DRS coming over the main straight. No, so that rear wing is going to stay closed for another lap. So maybe the only chance he's going to get is on the final lap of this race, and that is Apex Capes out of the session. He's crashed into the left side of the wall. That is terrible news, and that could be championship over. You never know. That could be championship over for Apex Capes, who's been doing so brilliantly all season in CRF4, has just let it blow on lap 26 out of 27 at Suzuka, and that is no points for the AlphaTauriman. and not great points for Altari in general this weekend, really, from what we've seen all season. And that may cause issue. That may not be great news for him, as we are going to look back on board, though, with Gattis Mikkelsen. 9/10 gap. He just needs to get in that DRS, and he may have a chance on the final lap, but they are both flashing away. Is Turbo Sphinx going to be able to hold on? He's pushing absolutely as hard as possible, also to keep that P3 technically to Alex Kuma. It is very close between them, guys, and he is pushing to the absolute maximum right now to try and hold on to that position. Labradan does not seem like he's got a way around Mike for the time being. Those mediums not getting too much better than those hards on Mike, so it's going to be pretty similar in terms of tyre life. And that does look like there, Gattis getting DRS. He is going to get a little slingshot on Turbo, it does look like here, and that might give him a chance on the final lap to maybe make a move. Yes, Turbo does open that rear wing, and he is going to gain a little bit of time on the straight. Down 8/10, 7/10, so a 6/10, that's a 4/10 gain coming down into turn 1. It's much closer now this lap. That DRS doing absolute bits for Gattis. Now, on the final lap, is he going to be able to do it? Let's look back as well. Sighted looking for the move on his teammate Pias. Down the inside goes Pias, doing Sighted, but these are guys going to be battling as hard as possible, and Pias doesn't look like he's got it, and he's going to have to sit behind his McLaren rejoining. That's absolutely terrible rejoin. Pias, I'm sure, is going to have a look at that. Have a look at that and maybe report that, and that is really bad news because Pias had that there, and the McLaren with a terrible rejoin on the inside of the track, just affecting him and having to slam on the brakes, and that is not good news also for the McLaren, as I'm sure he will get a penalty for that if it is reported, of course. It is 4/10 gap between P2 and P3 on the final lap, as Kendo looks like he's going to come and win this, but let's have a look through 130R if there's going to be any change on this final lap. 3/10 gap. They're both flashing, so I'm not sure it is going to be close enough unless Gattis has such good straight line speed. 5/10 is just not enough. I don't think he is just dropping back. Maybe running out of fuel here, actually, with 1.1. Yeah, possibly running out of fuel, I think. And this is Caradog coming to the line. And this is going to be a win for the Ferrari-man, coming to win his first CRF4 race in style. Brilliant race from him. Turbo Sphinx taking a P2. Is that going to be enough? It's going to be so close, but no. Gattis Mikkelsen actually does get P3 in the end. Turbo Sphinx getting a P4. Alex Kuma in P5 with Smithy in P6. We do have Sight in P7. Polo in P8. P9 for PS. And Mike in P9. And Labrad taking the final points scoring spot in P10 with the Alpha Romeo of Click4 Clack taking P11. Sorry, Labrad then was P10. But yeah. When we went in safety car there, great race, of course. I mean, yeah, I think safety car really just choking that race a little bit, but the racing was pretty exemplary from most of the guys. Absolutely. As we enjoy the victory celebrations from Candog and the Ferrari. Great result by him, obviously only a reserve, so it's not really going to affect the championship too much. Same as Gattis, I think he is also another reserve. So technically, the lead guy there getting points for the championship is Turbo Sphinx, taking the win in terms of championship results, but Kendall taking the win in terms of the win of the race. Gattis in second, Turbo in third, Alice Kuma getting good points in P4 for McLaren, P5 Smithy, P6 Polo, P7 is Sighted, P8 PS, P9 Mike, P10 Labratan, and P11 Click4 Clack. Everyone else for time was Apex Capes, CTV Syndical, Andy Ring, and Mr. Elite Fear. Just coming through, of course, the race director page. Let's just get this for our reporting system after the race, and then we will be done for today. But make sure to come and join us back on Saturday at about 4:30 GMT for our Spa 90-minute race over on ACC 82 Drive. It's going to be an absolute mad one, so make sure to come and join us there, and also make sure to give us a follow if anyone has been watching and has not followed. Make sure to give us a follow. We really would appreciate that happening. Anyway, I will see everyone later. It has been a great, another great race, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So I will probably see you guys, most likely on. It'll probably be next Thursday, if not next Monday, depending if we do have our other commentator. But I will see you at some point, and I will be around for some commentary, especially next week. with the 24 Spa. I probably will be doing summer commentary there, so make sure to come watch us for that. And it's been another good race. Right, see you guys soon. Bye.